of the name of Lord Vishnu. Number 3, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Number 4, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in portions to the Vedic version. Number 5, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. Number 6, to give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. Number 7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Number 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kanda. Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call today. Let us move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined?
Hare Krishna, Sundarangi Radha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call, and all glories to your wonderful services, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Thank you.
All glories to your services, Mataji. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Sundarangi
Krishna,
Radha
is there
Mataji.
anyone?
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Anita Ramya from Sharjah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Ramya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to your wonderful services. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna, is there anyone else who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna, Sundarangi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Parna Devidasi from.
Hare Krishna, Indulekha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to your wonderful services. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. I cannot see Prabhuji on the call. Maybe if devotees, anyone is interested, they can introduce themselves.
Hare Krishna, Sundarangi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and glories to Guru Maharaj. This is Harita from Missouri City, Texas, my Mataji, and my humble obeisances to all the devotees on the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Harita Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to your wonderful services, Mataji. Thank you so much. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Mataji. Maybe we'll do the introduction. Mataji, shall we read the introduction?
Mataji, yeah.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today we are so fortunate to have His Grace Samarpan Gopa Prabhuji to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, 20th chapter, and text number 8. Before giving the call to Prabhuji, I would like to hand over the call to Anita Ramya Mataji to read the brief introduction about Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Over to you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna dear devotees, welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. So today's session will be given by His Grace Samarpan Gopa Prabhu. So this is a brief introduction about Prabhuji. His Grace Samarpan Gopa Prabhu, formerly known as Sumit Kelkar, is from Maharashtra, Maharashtrian Brahmin family in Nasik. And Prabhuji has academically accomplished his BE in Mechanical Engineering from PVG's College of Engineering and Technology, Pune, graduating in 2005 as one of the top 3 rankers of his batch. Prabhuji has begun his professional journey in the field of engineering, working for 2 years at Nailsoft Private Limited, Pune, focusing on CAD safety domains. To further specialize, he completed his M.Tech in Thermal Engineering from NITK, Suratkal in 2009, where he was awarded the gold medal for academic excellence. His M.Tech project was completed at the prestigious Indian Institute of Science, IISc, Bangalore, in the aerospace department. And he was also selected as a GE Foundation Scholar. Professionally, Prabhuji has worked at FMC Technologies, Hyderabad, and later at Romax Technology, Pune, contributing in the field of CAD and mechanical engineering for about 2 years. Despite a promising career in engineering, he chose to dedicate his life in the spiritual upliftment of the society. Since 2011, Prabhuji has been serving as a full-time brahmachari at ISKCON NVCC Pune. NVCC Pune, applying and sharing the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhuji has completed 2-year residential Bhaktivedanta Vidyapita course 2015.
Is Mataji frozen?
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Yes,
Hare Krishna. Am I
Thank you,
audible?
Mataji, for the wonderful introduction. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your valuable time and association to us. And whenever ready, please take over the call, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, so we'll begin this time. So we'll begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yapravrajantamanapeta apeta krityam. Dvaipayano virahakatar ajuhava. Utreti tanmayataya taravolanidus tam sarvabhutaridayam manimanatosmi yasyanubhavamakhilashrutisaramekam adhyatmadipa atitirishataam tamandham samsarina karunaya puranakuhyam tam vyasasonu upayami gurum muninam नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So today we are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 20. What is the entitlement of the chapter? Let me see. Srila Prabhupada has, Bali Maharaj surrenders the universe, text number 8. So I will sing this 3 times. Yairiyambubuje Brahman Daityendrai अनिवर्तिभिः तेषां कालो ग्रसित लोकान् न यशोऽधिगतं भुवि यैरियं भुभुजे ब्रह्मन् दैत्येन्द्रैरनिवर्तिभिः तेषां कालोग्रसित लोकान् न योषोऽधिगतं भुवि यैरियं बुभुजे ब्रह्मन् दैत्येन्द्रियनिवर्तिभिः तेषां कालोग्रसित लोकान् न यशोऽधिगतं भुवि. The word to word meaning, translation and the purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yaihi, by who? Iyam, in this world. Bhubuje was enjoyed. Brahman, O best of the Brahmanas. Daitya Indraihi, by the great heroes and kings born in demoniac families. Anivartibhihi, by those who were determined to fight, either to lay down their lives or to win victory. Tesham, of such persons. Kalah, the time factor. Agrasit, took away. Lokan, all possessions, all objects of enjoyment. Na, not. Yashaha, the reputation. Adhigatam, achieved. Hui, in this word. Translation. O best of the Brahmanas, certainly the great demoniac kings who were never reluctant to fight enjoyed this world. But in due course of time, everything they had was taken away, except their reputation, by which they continue to exist. In other words, one should try to achieve a good reputation instead of anything else. Purport. In this regard, Chanakya Pandit, Chanakya Shloka 34, also says, Ayushah Kshana Ekopi Na Labhyah Swarna Kotibhi. The duration of one's life is extremely short. But if in that short lifetime one can do something that enhances his good reputation, that may continue to exist for many millions of years. Bali Maharaj therefore decided not to follow his spiritual master's instruction that he deny his promise to Vamandev. Instead, he decided to give the land according to the promise and be everlastingly celebrated as one of the 12 Mahajanas. Balir Vaya Sakir Vayam. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिण वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. एकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्. तस्मादहं विगतविक्लव ईश्वरस्य सर्वात्मना महि गृह्णामि यथा मनीषं. निचोजयो गुणविसर्ग अनुप्रविष्ट तो ये दहि नहि प्रमाणनुबन्धितेन भूतैर्महद्भिर्यैमां पुरा प्रभो निर्मायशेते यदमुष पूरुषः भुङ्क्ते गुणान् षोडश षोडशात्मकम् स्वलङ्कृशिष्टभगवन् वचांसि मे. यथा हरो भगवती नृणां भक्तिर्भविष्यति सर्वात्मनि अखिलाधारि इति सङ्कल्पवर्णय दशमस्य विशुद्ध्यर्थं नवानामिह लक्षणं वर्णयन्ति महात्मानः शतेनार्थेन चान्यसा. Hare Krishna. So, I welcome all of you for this daily Srimad Bhagavatam discussion in this Sangha. I'm very happy that it is going on since long time and you are there in the 8th canto now. So I hope am I audible clearly to all of you? Yes?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
So we have come to the culmination of the pastime of Bali Maharaj. In terms of this 20th chapter is entitled Bali Maharaj surrenders the universe. And actually the pure Sharanagati is beginning here. And the greater tests are going to come in the next chapter. And then see, he surrenders universe in this chapter. And next is the test of his third step, where to put arrested by the Lord, then he surrenders his life. And that is the symptom of pure Sharanagati. So coming to the greater context of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. So atra sarga visargasya sthanam poshanam utayah manvantareshanu nirodho muktirash. So there are 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, but they are, why they are spoken, actually there is only one topic, that is Ashraya Tattva, that is Dashame Dashamam Laksham Ashrita Ashraya Vigraham. Shri Krishnakhyam Param Dhama Jagat Dhama Namami Tat. So, 10th topic is given in 10th canto, that is Acharya Tattva, that is Krishna, Avatari Krishna, and his pastimes in Vrindavan, Mathura, Dwarka. That's the goal. However, Srila Shukdev Goswami is ushering us through these 9 topics so that we understand whose pastimes which we are going to hear in 10th canto. So it's all preparatory phrase. And we have to thoroughly understand the purports of first 9 cantos, as Prabhupada says, to actually get the effect of 10th canto. So in that course of action, the first 2 cantos are the prelude to Bhagavatam. The Adhikari, Shravana Adhikar and Kirtan Adhikar. Adhikari Tattva is first canto. Second canto is Sadhan Tattva. The Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, characterized by Navvida Bhakti activities, is established as the highest expedite process for achieving anything. Akama, Sarva Kama va Moksha Kama Udaradihi. Ityadi. So it is fully established, and then comes the 10 topics at the end of second canto. In the 9th chapter is the summary of entire 18,000 verses given in Chatushloki Bhagavatam, Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan, Jnana and Vijnana. And then in 10th chapter of second canto, the 10 topics are introduced. And this is the way I am going to explain now. You have asked many questions, but I am going to tell you the answers, not in a sequence which you have asked, but I will answer the way I want to usher you through the Srimad Bhagavatam, to the 10th canto. So he would have spoken Vraj Leela for entire 7 days, isn't it? The Shukdev Goswami was completely attracted to Raj Bhakti, etc. But he did not speak because he took through first 9 cantos. So that way, third canto onwards, Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, Poshanam. Till 6th canto is Poshan. Shuddha Bhakti is established as the highest practice. And all other processes are imperfect and temporary, etc. And then 7th canto is telling us about how everyone can practice pure devotional service by associating with pure devotee. Like Narad Muni's association was received by Prahlad. In spite of Daitya Janma, he could practice. So, and then 8th canto is teaching us surrender. So after after receiving pure devotional seed, what is the first thing we have to do is Sharanagati. Sharanagati is like the tulasi which we give in offering to Krishna, in all our offerings, without which Krishna doesn't accept the offerings, right? Without Tulsi Maharani. So similarly, our Navvidha Bhakti has no quality, has no endurance, has no proper capacity actually. But when it is imbued with Sharanagati, pure Sharanagati, then Krishna accepts. Because Krishna is Bhakta Vatsal, Vadanya. So that Sharanagati principle is elaborated in the 8th canto. And the Artha Sharanagati is by Gajendra in the beginning. And Artharthi Sharanagati is by the demigods in the Samudra Manthan. And Jigyasu Sharanagati will come after, not come, it has already gone. Lord Shiva wanting to see the Mohini Murti. And then he surrendered. And then Jnani Sharanagati is last chapter of this canto, Satyavrat Muni. And the pure Sharanagati is what we are discussing here in the Bali Maharaj section. So that is what is happening here. So pure Sharanagati includes a lot of difficulties. So in this particular context right now, what we are discussing, text number 8. So Bali Maharaj is surrendering the universe. So this particular verse is the part of the verses which were spoken by Bali Maharaj with great respect but disagreement with his spiritual master. So, and that is summarized in the very first verse of this chapter. The very first verse of this chapter, what it says is, you can see this. So, last chapter you have seen that Vamandev has come and requested for 3 steps of land. 3 steps of land, that's all. And then Shukracharya, knowing the intention of Lord, he told so many different reasons from scriptures how he should not follow, he should lie. So he heard all that in front of Lord, and now this chapter is beginning his response to his spiritual master's request in front of Lord. So Shri Shuka Vacha Balireva Grihapatihi Kulacharyeణ Bhashitah Tushnim Bhutva Kshanam Rajan Vacha Vahito Guru. So Bali Maharaj, what he did, O King Parikshit, when Bali Maharaj was thus advised by his spiritual master, Kula Acharyena Bhashitaha, Grihapati, Shukracharya, his family priest, he remained silent for some time. Tushnim Bhutva. And then, after full deliberation, he replied to his spiritual master as follows. Rajan, Vaj Avahito Guru. Avahitoha means with great deliberation, he replied to his spiritual master. So, what did he deliberate? This is the most confidential part of Srimad Bhagavatam. That what Mahajana, how Mahajanas make decision, how Mahajana think, how they think, what they think, how they behave, how they disagree or disobey with respect in this case. So that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So here, what did he deliberate and what he spoke is both given, right? From text number 3 onwards, it goes on 3, 4, 5, etc. And today we are, and it goes on till 13th verse. So he's deliberating and he's speaking, right? So first 2 verses of that is, first thing is that I am a follower of Prahlad Maharaj, right? सचाहं वित्तलाभेन लोभेन प्रत्यचक्षते कथं द्विजं परि प्रतिश्रुत्य ददामिति प्रहरादै इटवो यथा. I am grandson of Prahlad. Like a cheater, how I can withdraw my promise for greed of money? I already said that. Right? I will give the land. How I can behave like a cheater? So it doesn't behoove me because I am. So this is the first. He's identifying himself as follower of Prahlad Maharaj, and because of this, he has become Mahajan. To be very frank, Bali Maharaj is Kripa Siddha. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Kripa Siddha Yajna Patni Vairochini Sukadaya. Shukdev Goswami, Yajna Patnis and Vairochini. So Prahlad Maharaj's son is Virochan, Virochan's son is Bali Maharaj. So Bali Maharaj is Kripa Siddha. So he has become recipient of mercy of Lord to become Mahajan or pure devotee. Why he received mercy? Only one reason, because he is connected to dearmost devotee of Lord, that is Prahlad. So you don't find much devotional service practices of him because he is Kripa Siddha. But Kripa Siddhi also doesn't happen just like that. So surely he was consciously foiling himself to be follower of Prahlad Maharaj. Right? And when, because of that, there is a big story behind that you must have discussed before, but that we will not discuss now. But Bali Maharaj, at this point, he is as soon as he saw Vaman Dev, he was attracted to his beauty. And the seed of devotion which was planted by Prahlad Maharaj fructified at this point, suddenly. Because he saw, actually, Vaman Dev is known for beauty. Right? His beauty was so attractive that his little Bhaktilata beach, which was planted by Prahlad Maharaj, who is extremely potent, immediately became, blossomed. And that time he wanted to offer respect, but he felt that actually I am in wrong assembly, I can't offer him respect fully here. So that's the point that he identified himself as Prahlad Maharaj follower. And then he goes on to talk that my dear Guru Maharaj, Shukracharya, I fear to lie. I fear to. न हि असत्यात् परो धर्म इति होवाच भूरियम् सर्वं साधुम् अलम मन्ये ऋत अलीक परम नम. So the earth is said there is nothing more sinful than untruthfulness. I think that I can bear any heavy thing except the person who is liar. So he's quoting Shastra. He is thinking the Bhumi Devi's consciousness, that I will become great burden for Bhumi Devi if I lie. Not to speak, I am not Tom, Dick, Harry. I am king. How I can lie? So I fear to lie, that too to the Brahmana. So he's using word Brahmana. He knows he is Supreme Lord actually. So he is Brahmana. So that is fourth verse. And then fifth verse, fourth verse is about the earth speaking, and then fifth verse is saying, I fear. Naham bibhemi, I don't fear to go to hell. Neither I fear to become poor. Neither I fear that asukharanavat. I get lot of distress, ocean of distress. Nasthana chavanat. If I lose my position, I don't fear. I don't fear even death. Mrityur yatha vipra pralambanat. I fear a cheating Brahmana. The Brahmana has come, I can't cheat him. You are telling me to cheat by so many means, I can't cheat him. So he is speaking first principles, and now the next sixth verse, he is telling that actually the wealth and all this kingdom is nashwar, it's temporary, right? What is the use of wealth? One leaves behind and dying. Should it not be used to satisfy a Brahmana? Because Brahmana should be satisfied. You are Brahmana. And actually, Bali Maharaj received lot of strength from Shukracharya. What to speak of strength actually? He has received his life from Shukracharya. So he has worshipped the Bhrugu's descendants and he has received so much of power by serving the Brahmanas, like Shukracharya and Bhrugu's followers. Practically, he had died in Samudra Manthan fight, right? You have seen that. But he was brought back by Shukracharya. So that Shukracharya he is talking. And he is also Brahmana. So I don't want to not use the wealth for Brahmana. So how I cannot use this wealth because wealth is going to go anyway. That is sixth verse. And seventh verse, Shukracharya may say that you want to give everything. Please show me some example. You are speaking a lot of Shastra, right? Give me some examples of history. Bali Maharaj says, yes, I will give. Shreyah kurvanti bhutanam sadavo tajashubihi dathyanshibi prabhritayah ko vikalpo dharadishu. You are asking examples, my dear Guru Maharaj. These are the examples. Dadichi, Shibi, and many other great personalities were willing to sacrifice even their lives for benefit of people in general. What hesitation can be there in giving this insignificant land? They gave life actually. I am just have to give what is mine. See, there is I and there is mine. There is possessions and there is a person. So giving up mine is easy. Giving up I is very difficult. So he's saying, I can't give Shibi and Dadiji Rishi gave so much, right? So he's giving example. So in today's verse, this is the context that now Shukracharya may say, without regard for future reputation, one should not give away one's temporary assets. Like that Shukracharya may say. So see, Shukracharya is coming to the point of his fame. You are disregarding your future reputation. Don't give up your, temporary assets at the cost of your reputation. Like that he say. To that, today's verse is spoken by Bali Maharaj, who is extremely thoughtful, respectful, and very proper discrimination he is using, and he is speaking today's verse. So what he is saying, and I don't follow this philosophy. Why? Yairiyam bhuje brahman daitendrer anivartibihi. Anivartibihi means those who are the leaders of Daityas. They were so big fighters. They will go on battle, no? They will die, as Prabhupada translates. No? They will die or they will win. They will not return. They will enjoy the kingdom. So they left their lives and they didn't give their reputation remained, right? Tesham kalo grasit. These proper kshatriyas, like kshatriyas, what is the quality of kshatriya? Actually, the king, Krishna tells, right? Shauryo, chivalry, tejo, dhrutir, daksham, yuddhe chapa apalayanam, danam ishvara bhavasya, kshatra swabhava uchyate, something like that. So these are the qualities he is saying. Yuddhe chapa apalayanam. They don't run away from fight. So their Tesham kalo grasit loka means what? Their enjoyments of this world and next are taken away. Time has destroyed all enjoyment of demoniac kings who did not turn away from battle and who enjoyed earth, but time took away that also, right? But what time didn't take away? Na yasho adhigatam bhuvi. Their reputation is still there. So now Bali Maharaj is telling, you are talking about reputation, my dear Guru Maharaj. But these people, they had reputation. So that's why here the time did not destroy the fame they achieved. Right? So you are saying reputation, I am saying if I give, I will be reputed. So see, this is how Kshatriya thinks. So Jarasandha also, if you see, when Krishna went as requested by his dear friend Uddhava for single fight, Arjuna Bhima and Krishna went. So Jarasandha was so careful to be well known as Danashur. So he came to know that these are Kshatriyas. But still, actually, it is said that the whole talk went on in the night, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, like that. So, but he thought, okay, my fame is important, I will give you. Krishna revealed their identities also, but still he followed. Because why? Fame, reputation, Danam, the charitable disposition. So he was known. So that's how even Jarasandha kind of people were holding their reputation like anything. Because that's the nature. Kshatriya. Although he misused it, of course. Right? So Krishna told, actually for reputation you are doing adharma. That time Krishna asked him that you fellow, where is written about this Narbali which you are doing? Which Shastra is written? It's 21,000 kings you are going to do Narbali. It is not given in any Shastra. What you are following? It is not following anything actually. So this is a problem. Right? The demoniac disposition directs one to break the rules of Shastra. So here, same thing is happening. Shukracharya is using Shastra to disobey actually Shastra. Actually, this is the danger of Shastra. That's why Bali Maharaj is deliberating. Right? Deliberating about what I should do. Actually, I will be doing adharma if I reject the Guru's order. If I disobey my Guru, it is adharma. But if I disobey the Lord, then that is lack of devotion. So he deliberated and he is now respectfully disagreeing. So that way he acts. So here we see Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, and actually since Bali Maharaj, since Shukracharya is asking about reputation, Bali Maharaj is telling, actually I want to be reputed, so I will give. Because reputation will remain even if I die. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that actually this statement is only made for sake of Shukracharya. Actually, Bali did not have regard for fame since he was by this time pure devotee. That's what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says. That he is just speaking for sake of speaking as a answer to the question of his guru as respectfully as possible. Right? So that is this particular verse. So actually, devotee, as Sanatana Goswami says, that devotee never actually puja, labha and pratishtha, reputation, gain and material gain and reputation, etc. They are subtle sex and they are most difficult to give, especially the pratisthasha. So one should not touch the stool of pratisthasha because it's very difficult to give like that. So a pure devotee doesn't have that desire, just as Madhavendra Puri didn't have. Right? So that's the mood of Bali Maharaj. But he is speaking for convincing him. And the next verse, he speaks further. Actually, he says there that actually those who do not refuse to give charity become more famous than those who don't refuse the better. So that is what reputation of, even if I become poor by giving full thing, the reputation will be there. Like that he is telling in the next two verses. And the last verse, 11th verse, he tells actually this is not just Brahmana. I have promised him, and he's not just Brahmana, he's Vishnu. You told me this is Vishnu. And why I should not give everything to Vishnu? Let him be what? Because he is Supreme Lord, he will take away everything. So that's how Bali Maharaj is very respectful, authentic, disagreeing to the proposal and instruction of Guru. So Srila Prabhupada in his purport writes two important aspects. The one aspect is the first part, which is very interesting. The shloka quoted is utility of time and how time cannot be brought back. So this verse is quoted generally for human life is very rare. So everything has to be used. Every moment cannot be brought back. Now it's 5:22. Like Prabhupada says in one lecture. Now 521 has gone forever. It cannot come in India. So even if you pay anything, so that's why the time has to be utilized properly. Right? So that's what is spoken. Right? So the verse is Ayuksha Kshana Epopi na labhya swarna kotivi. And a single moment of life is not obtainable for millions of gold coins. If it is not utilized meaningfully, what greater loss is there in that? So, rhetoric question actually. How is there any greater loss than time? That is the general meaning. But in this particular context, Prabhupada is saying that in short lifetime, one can do something that enhances his good reputation. That may continue to exist for many millions of years. So, this part is based on what was told by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. That okay, I will be reputed as proper follower of principle of Kshatriya Dharma to be not cheating Brahmana, following the promise, not lying, etc. For fame. So that's what Prabhupada is bringing out in the first line of his purport. Or second line, for example. So do something that enhances good reputation. And that, so reputation actually being reputed, actually Ramanand Rai is asked by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in, I'm just showing about, this is about reputation. कीर्ति गण मध्य जीवेर कोण बड़ा कीर्ति कृष्ण भक्त बलियाय हर हाय ख्याति. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Ramanand Rai. This is one of the best samvad where many question answers are there from foundation to highest. Out of all glorious activities, which is most glorious? Ramanand Rai replied, that person who is reputed to be a devotee of Krishna enjoys utmost fame and glory. So this is what Prabhupada concluded the purport with, right? He was celebrated as, everlastingly celebrated as one of the 12 Mahajanas because of this decision, right? So Mahajan means devotee of Krishna, devotee of Vishnu, right? So here Prabhupada writes, the greatest reputation of a living being can have is to be a devotee of Krishna and to act in Krishna consciousness. In the material world, everyone is trying to be famous by accumulating large bank balance or material opulence. There is a steady competition among karmis attempting to advance in Vedic society. The whole world is turning in accordance with that competitive mood. But this kind of fame is temporary, and for it lasts as long as temporary material body exists. One may become famous Brahmagyani, impersonally scholar, or one may become materially opulent person. In either case, such reputations are inferior to the reputation of Krishna too. So actually this world, it is said that actually Pratishthanari Sada Kuvari. This is Hindi proverb. Means what? Actually the true Pratishtha, everyone is running behind her because she is very attractive. But she is running behind devotee. And devotee doesn't want Pratishtha. Devotee wants Krishna. He is running behind devotee of Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, boli, dhaya tava pachi pachi. So, reputation of Madhavendra Puri ran behind him. But Madhavendra Puri never wanted that. He ran ahead. But reputation reached before. Right? And then he used that reputation to serve Krishna. So, Sada Kuvari means what? The whole world wants Pratishtha, but Pratishtha is not given. Even if it is there, it is for few days, few months, few years, few decades. And then they end up doing something abominable, then entire thing is destroyed. Right? Only reputation. Vaishnavi Pratishtha Tate Karo Nishtha. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati's appearance was there, right? So he very says, he uses this word, Pratisthasha, I think Shukarya Vishta, etc. So Vaishnavi Pratishtha means being known as Krishna's devotee by acting in Krishna consciousness, not showing, rather what we can say, that being saintly than showing oneself saintly. That's the point. So one can do something that enhances good reputation. That something is nothing but pure devotional service. So that will exist for millions of years. Right? So that's what Prabhupada is telling. And then he quotes so many shlokas to say that it's extremely rare to be a pure devotee. Actually, Kotishvapi Mahamuni, Muktanam Abhi Siddhanam, Narayana Parayana, Sudurlabha Prashantatma Kotishvapi. That rare is the person who is pure devotee of Krishna. So Prabhupada quotes so many verses here, you can see. So that is about reputation. Right? And then second part of the purport speaks about the Bali Maharaj therefore decided not to follow his spiritual master instruction that deny his promise to Amandir and decide to give the land. So this disagreement and disobedience and even rejection, actually disobedience to Guru is the beginning of rejection of Guru, because that's the relationship based on. That's why generally the great spiritual masters will give instructions with great care, right? Because it becomes an aparadh, right? And it is very detrimental for devotees' progress in Krishna consciousness. So here he is taking that decision, but with great deliberation, with great thought, and remembering himself to be the follower of Prahlad Maharaj. That's how he is getting proper vichar, or the thought process, and behavar, that is respectfully disagree with Guru. So when the rejection of Guru can be done, so that also has to be understood. So same Srila Prabhupada in the first verse itself quotes that famous verse which you must have discussed. Right? So that first, means he doesn't quote verse, he tells the meaning of the verse actually. So in the first verse of this chapter. So that verse is Guror api avaliptasya karya karyam ajanatah utpatha pratipannasya parityago vidhiyate. So even Guru can be rejected, and it is vidhiyate means one can do that. Right? And it can be rejected when he becomes proud, or he doesn't know what is right and wrong. Karya akarya ajanata. Or utpatha pratipannas, means he is walking on a wrong path. So anyone who is supposed to be Guru who does against the principle of Vishnu Bhakti cannot be accepted as Guru. So that's what he is following now. If one falsely accepted as such Guru, one should reject him. Such Guru is described as follows. Right? So this is what. So we have to be very. So this is the first verse only. 8:20.1 only I am showing that this is quoted. Right? And the same verse you will see that it is quoted in Bhagavad Gita also. Because Arjuna was not able to reject Bhishma. He was thinking Bhishma is my Guru. Right? How I can reject Bhishma? So Krishna is telling him that, my dear Arjuna, Bhishma is your Guru, that is correct. But right now he is doing wrong activity, he is supporting wrong side. Now you have to withdraw your disposition towards him, and you can reject. Right? So that's what you see here. The fifth. So Arjuna is confused after telling 4 reasons. Then fifth reason, he is talking in a friendly way to Krishna. That Krishna also friendly way saying, "Arey, you are acting like a eunuch. You are klebbem asma gamak partana. It doesn't suit you. Then Arjuna is telling, Are, you are telling me to kill my guru. Have you done that? You are you Sandipani Sudan? No. Why you are asking me to kill Bhishma and Drona? So he's talking in a friendly terms. I should offer flowers to their lotus feet. You are telling me to kill them? What is this? That is this verse. Gurun ahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum bhaiksham apiha loke. Hatvartha kamas tu gurun ihaiva bhunjiya bhogan hridaya prati. So it would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of lives of great souls who are my teachers. He say, my dear Arjuna, how you live? Are I will live by begging, even if I am Kshatriya, but I can't kill. Because whatever, if I win also, I will get the kingdom which is tainted with their blood. Then Krishna is replying here. So Baladev Vidyabhushan is writing and quoting this verse. So Arjuna is saying, I will succeed by begging without having to kill elders. Even though that is condemned for Kshatriya, I will be bearing the, infamy that, I ran away from battle. Because though it is cause of infamy in this life, it will not create impediments in next life. So that is his so-called intelligence. Then Krishna is telling him, you should also reject Bhishma and others, though they are teachers, since they are also contaminated with arrogance for war and have thus lost discrimination of right and wrong. So see, Gurur avaliptasya, arrogance for war. Karya kara ajanataha, they have lost discrimination of right and wrong. By association with Duryodhana and others who are using this war to commit violence, to you take away kingdom, right? So he is quoting the same verse actually. Krishna is telling him. And then he still says, but they are most outstanding among all persons. They are Mahanubhavas, caused by their study of Vedas and Brahmachari life, right? Bhishma was known. Then Lord has to quote Bhishma only. Bhishma only is quoted. Man is servant of wealth, but wealth is not servant of anyone. This is the truth. O king, I have been bound up by wealth of Kauravas. So therefore you should reject. Therefore, what is the great authority of those who have sold their soul for greed of wealth? They should be killed in battle. Right? So that's how Krishna is convincing Arjuna that at this point of time, because of wrong behavior, actions, and consciousness of Guru, you should reject your Guru. So that is the appropriate way of appropriate situation in which one can reject Guru. Right? So that's what here in this context Prabhupada is telling that why? Because it is going in other direction. So this also has to be rightly understood. So that way Prabhupada's small purport is telling these two principles of what is about this reputation and why he decided to reject his guru and how we can see this principle. So these principles, so Shastra, so such kind of rejection of guru or guru's order is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is not very, it is telling all the truths of life. So it is not just speaking about obedience, surrender to guru all the time. No, it is telling some incidences where the devotees are rejecting their gurus, right? But with right discrimination, with right motivation. So this is one place. So where are other places? Think about it. So first place comes to my mind is Nimi Maharaj. Nimi Maharaj is rejecting the order of his guru Vasishtha Muni because he was interested to do both sacrifices to get both dakshina from Indra also and from him also. And he was doing sacrifice for welfare. So he didn't wait. And Vasishtha Muni became very angry. And Vasishtha cursed him. And Nimi Maharaj, being a pure devotee, he cursed him back. And it's a big story. But that is one place where strong action is taken. Can you imagine cursing the Guru? Here it's quite, respectfully disagreeing with Guru. There is another incident in Srimad Bhagavatam where 4 Kumaras are rejecting the order of Brahmaji. And Brahmaji is becoming angry because they are not helping in his service of progeny. But their goal is superior. So Brahmaji understands that and withdraws his anger and Rudra is born. That is another incident. And third incident is Yadu. When Yadu is disobeying his guru because of higher purpose. So that is also glorified. So these all disobediences are glorified. So rejecting. So there are, whenever there is a wrong instruction, so one can reject father, guru na sasyat, swajano na sasyat, pita na sasyat, janani na sasyat, daivam na tatsyat, na patishta tatsyat, na mochaye yat samupeta mrityum. So that person should not become all these guides. And the same thing applies for followers. So he can reject. So Prahlad Maharaj rejected father. And Bharat Maharaj rejected his Bharat also rejected. There are so many examples like that, right? So for each of them, example can be given. So rejection. So this obedience, so Yadu and Puru I was telling, right? So Yadu's disobedience is glorified and Puru's obedience is also glorified. Who agreed to follow is Yayati. Yayati asking for youth. So whereas the middle two people, so middle three, Anu and other sons, they disobeyed their father for sense gratification. So that is condemned. So this is the last thing we'll discuss. While being in ISKCON as an institution, we have to follow, understand and grasp the spiritual principles. At the same time, we have to understand what are organizational principles. And organizational principles are meant to facilitate following of spiritual principles. So being in ISKCON and to obey our authorities, especially if they are not spiritual masters or even spiritual masters, what should be the dynamics of this? Because it is easier said than done, right? Yes. So there are few pointers here for us to make proper decision. The dynamics of obedience. So Prabhupada really wanted us to cooperate with authorities. So Sharanagati or surrender is to Guru and Krishna. And when I say authority means those who are appointed by the Guru or the representatives of Prabhupada, that is GBCs, right? The system of the temple. So Prabhupada wanted us to cooperate with authorities, not surrender to authorities. Right? Surrender is different. Surrender is to Guru and Krishna exclusively. And why to Guru? Because Guru is helping us to surrender to Krishna. And he is surrendered soul, that's why. So actually surrender is to Krishna only. So, but cooperation with authorities. What is meaning of cooperation? Cooperation doesn't mean, I am telling you, you should cooperate with me. That is not cooperation. Cooperation means both work together. So we can see both sides because many times we are on the both ends. We are subordinates to someone and we have some subordinates simultaneously. So what should be the ideal disposition of this? So that is, you see that point number 4. When we are subordinates, how we should do is, like Bali Maharaj here, he is very respectful and very sensitive. And he is kind of willing to follow and cooperate, right? If you see the first verse, he is saying, or second, Satyam Bhagavata Proktam. My dear Guru Maharaj, you have said correctly. So he began with that, but he went later. So one has to, there should be willingness to cooperate or obey based on whatever is told to us. And we should be respectful and sensitive. The way Bali Maharaj is here should not be breaking the etiquette. And in that, what is the highest which we can try to do is like Priyavrat Maharaj. So he sacrificed his devotion on instruction of Brahma and left Narada's ashrama to become a king and do all the administration. And he did miraculous service. But he did that obedience. So that is the highest. Be ready to obey with full sacrificing spirit while risking his own devotional service. But he was protected because he obeyed, right, to fulfill desires. And Agnidhara was born, right? Or Puru Yayati, already I gave you example that he risked his own life actually, but is glorified. This is the highest. But everyone will not able to follow the highest, although they might aspire for highest. So what should be the disposition within? Is sincerity of purpose is the most important. As I told, Yadu didn't follow because of his purpose. Four Kumaras didn't follow because of their sincerity of purpose. So that is the most important when we are practicing Krishna consciousness. Sincerity of purpose. And along with that, these aspects are important. That we strive for wherever we are, our sanctity of heart is increasing. Our sensitivity in dealing is increasing. Sanity in head means we are making decisions based on Guru Sadhu Shastra. And we are seriousness in practice. So this is very important. So two examples are there here. Paramapuja Vansana Swami Maharaj and Paramapuja Radhanath Maharaj. They were in New Vrindavan with the authority which is, we cannot imagine now what kind of schedule they had. But their purpose is that kind of surrender. I can't imagine. I can't do it actually because not many could do. So many of them left actually later. Right? We have like Sukhavaha Mataji sharing so humbly her experiences. So it's not easy to have all these things together happening. Right? And there we have another two examples of Paramapuja Guru Prasad Swami Maharaj. He was told by his authority, he was a brahmachari. In one temple, he was told that you get married, and then he didn't want to. And so he went to other temple and he did nice book distribution service with great dedication and came back after 1-2 years. Then GBC told, I was testing you. Right? I was testing you. And then we have example of Sankarshan Das Adhikari Prabhu, who was told by his authority to marry and he did marry. But what they are doing, both of them now, Sankarshan Das Adhikari Prabhu's good wife is here in Pune. So they are traveling all over the world. So he followed, he didn't follow. But both are serving the mission of Prabhupada because of sincerity of purpose. So that is important. So when we have sincerity of purpose, then what we can do is, we can try for first. If it is not possible, then we can do this second one, like Bali Maharaj is doing. Cannot honestly but hesitatingly express that my concerns and challenges to follow these instructions, my inability to do this, to obey and open. So this is, we should be honest enough to express, and we should honest enough to try to understand the nice of other author. Nice means what his needs, interest, concerns, expectation, what he is undergoing, what he needs now. So that also. So that is the proper way of dealing. This is may not be the highest that you want to hesitatingly say that it's challenging for me to follow. But it is appropriate because it is honesty and it is respectful understanding of need. Right? If I can't do, someone else can do it. We can help. Right? Because there are some apad dharmas sometimes. But one should never be political or diplomatic. You say yes, but you don't do it. That is very dangerous. Because Vaishnavata is saralta, straightforwardness, simplicity, Guru Goswami says. So that is very half-heartedly doing, right? So that is not the best thing to do. So that is what is a part of subordinate. But when we are authorities, when we have subordinates under us, then we have to be mature to be accommodative and respect the inclination and concerns of our subordinates, right? So this is very important. It's not that we say, hey, cooperate, Prabhupada told cooperate, that is not doing. Try to understand other person. Hear from him his concern and respect the concerns. You may not be able to deal with it. But importance is respect, because what is bhakti? Bhakti is all voluntary. Everyone is following bhakti voluntary. They are not getting anything out of it. Right? So it's all voluntary business. So Krishna consciousness is to inspire and engage people in Krishna consciousness. Preaching means you inspire people by education, by encouragement, and by example. That is inspiration. And engage people according to their expertise, their different expertise and their natures, right? Not that hire and fire means now I want something to be done and then hire and then fire. No, that is not the culture of Krishna consciousness. So that is the dynamics of the obedience which we should try to follow from the Shastra. Right? So these are few thoughts about this verse which crossed my mind. The purport was very small, so I thought of sharing something. So to summarize, what I tried to say was that we saw how Bali Maharaj is so maturely, expressing his disagreement with respect, with from proper deliberation, from principles of Shastra. Uh, That is one thing which Bhagavatam teaches us, right? And then second thing also we saw that about the reputation of being a devotee, very rare. And last thing is when one disobeys the spiritual master and when how we dynamically apply this principle of obedience. So that's what was our discussion. So now it's almost 1 hour I'm speaking. So in case if there is some time for questions or some discussions or some comments, clarifications or even corrections, devotees can be unhesitatingly expressing it without any problem. Okay. Yes, Hare
Now,
Krishna.
Prabhuji, please accept my obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for that very insightful class. So, as you summarized, you spoke about the reputation, how it has to be utilized. So, and also when and how to not to obey and to obey the spiritual master. So, you gave so many examples and quoted from Shastra. So, that was very helpful, Prabhu. So we have one hand raised. Pitambar Prabhu, please go ahead.
Yes, Pitambar.
Hare Krishna. Mataji. Thank you so much for the wonderful opportunity. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. My dandavat to you, Prabhu. Uh, what a wonderful explanation of the nuances of surrender, reputation, obedience, etc. Prabhu, I have a couple of quick questions. The very first one is, I think in verse number 3 earlier in this chapter, Prabhupada in the purport said that there are two kinds of devotees, elevated devotees, the sadhana siddha and kripa siddha. So, first question is, what are the qualifications of the kripa siddha? In other words, what should be the qualities a devotee should have to become eligible for the mercy of the Lord, kripa siddha? That is my first question. And the second one is...
Actually, let us discuss first
Sure,
question.
sure.
Here, okay. So actually, when we say Kripa Siddha, in this case, it's like they have not practiced devotional service much. They have elevated very quickly to Siddhi, Siddha, right? Like the three examples. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur only Prabhupada is quoting here. You can see Yajna Patnis, Bali Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami. So when we say Kripa Siddha, what does that mean is, it's like, one preacher was giving example that generally there are two kinds of ways to get PhD, right? The one is proper process. You do a graduation, masters, and then do some research and then prove it and then get PhD. So this is the standard way. So this is like practicing what all of us are trying to do. Practicing sadhana to attain kripa actually to become siddha. So this is the process. This is the general road to practice. However, the other PhD is honorary PhD. You have heard this honorary PhD means the person doesn't do anything. Because like I think Srimad Gaur Gopal Prabhu or some other devotees are being given by some universities honorary PhD. But it didn't even work for that. But they have done good things in other fields. That's why the university wants it to give. So Krupa Siddhi is something like that. So there is nothing which can be done to become Kripa Siddha. Number one. Number two, we want to attain Siddhi by practicing sadhana. But why we do sadhana? As I said, that our sadhana has no endurance. How many hours we can hear? Can we hear like Parikshit without any break? Hmm? We can't. Can we speak like Shukdev? No. Can we remember like Prahlad? No. We don't have endurance to do Navvidha Bhakti. Neither there is a purity of quality in that. Hmm? Right? Or chanting, I am chanting and so much falling asleep and mind wandering and right? Where is the quality in execution of Navvidha Bhakti? So what makes it acceptable is the Sharanagati. Hmm? So only by so we practice sadhana to attract the mercy of Krishna because eventually mercy of Hari Guru and Vaishnavas. So only way we will be delivered is kripa only, but we should do sadhana to attract the kripa. Hmm. So only way is that. Hmm. And the essence of all that is Vina Mahatpada Rajobhishek. So Siddhi means we have to bathe ourselves in the dust of the feet of Nishkinchan devotees. This is the essential message of Srimad Bhagavatam. All sadhanas should be directed to please the person Bhagavat, and we can understand nicely and serve nicely who is person Bhagavat by understanding book Bhagavat. So book Bhagavat will tell us who is person Bhagavat, how to serve him, how to respect him, how much to respect. So both things should go on. Person Bhagavat and book Bhagavat. Hmm. So that is our main process of sadhana to attract kripa. So eventually we will also be siddha by mercy only, but not like ordinary PhD. We can't expect that. Hmm. So that is my some thoughts, Prabhuji. If you have something.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu. What a wonderful answer, Prabhu. Prabhu, second quick question is, in Kali Yuga, Prabhu, we know that name, fame, and reputation is the topic we are discussing for this 8.20.8. Name, fame, reputation, all are the, I would say they are the traps to pull you down, because there will be no, this is my understanding, that's why I'm asking. uh, it can have a backdoor entry for the pride to creep in, and then pride, once enters, whether front or back door, is the beginning of the end of that sadhaka for sure. Pride,
Perfect.
that's the beginning of the end of that sadhaka. So Prabhu, when we are talking of reputation, I was contemplating that how can in this Kali Yuga we use reputation for conducive to bhakti, to please Krishna. How do we do that?
Hare Krishna.
Although we didn't try to achieve reputation, no, that's a big no. It automatically comes, but still having come, having got it with the mercy of lordships, how can we use it conducive to bhakti, Prabhu, in Kali Yuga? Hare Krishna.
Actually, it's very exalted question, and I am not much qualified to answer because this can be answered very nicely. One who has it and one is using it in Krishna's service, right? So there are many examples in our movement. However, you said very nicely that it's actually it's a subtle sex. Prabhupada says, right? Puja, labh, pratishtha, and it's actually there are people who can give up gross sex. Hmm? But to give up subtle sex is the most difficult thing. And it cannot be understood by anyone except the pure devotees. They can understand it, that this someone is doing for pratishtha. So my Guru Maharaj was saying that sometimes Guru will chastise you for if you have not done anything wrong. Because he is able to understand that there is a problem in his ego. So because this pratisthasha is so deep rooted that we cannot even understand it. But gurus can understand. So what is the best way to use it? Theoretically, I can answer is when we are acting under the directions. So if we are feeling that because today's world to serve also we have to nowadays if you want to serve new people you have to show how many likes and how many things are there, right? So it's all the more difficult. We have to be very clear that there is a great thin line between showing off and doing for seva, right? Because all this online thing, what is that? It's all number of followers and all that. So best course of action is act under direction. And when there is some kind of thought in our mind which is inappropriate about our seva, then better to clarify with our gurus and superiors so that we continue using. Otherwise, same thing as you said very nicely, that we may use Pratishtha, but Pratishtha will slaughter us. And it has happened in the past, it is happening now, and will happen in future. So we have to be extremely careful because it is actually it's exactly opposite of what is Krishna consciousness. So one can glorify Krishna with great eloquence, with great scholarship, but the inside desire is people should know me. I should become famous. I should become glorified. Can you imagine how shallow it is? Will Krishna be pleased with it? With Vyasas, Vyasdev will be pleased while sitting on Vyasasana. So, but it's very thin line, Prabhu. So that's the thing, because my understanding of when you say use pratishtha, but generally it is for preaching, right? In this world, we use pratishtha because people see nowadays, right? So preaching, my understanding, humble understanding is who can do preaching? Actually, preaching is done by lover of God, who has compassion, who is unable to tolerate the suffering of conditioned souls. So I am not at that level. I am not doing preaching, but I am doing preaching service. So what is the difference? Bhajan and bhajan kriya. So bhajan is done by lover of God. I am doing bhajan kriya. I am imitating what he does naturally to please Krishna. Because Guru has told me, or Guru Janas have told you preach, that's why I am doing preaching service. I am not preaching because I am struggling with my own anarthas. Neither I am feeling some inconvenience. I am not even feeling that others are suffering. By my dealings, I am creating disturbance in others. Then where is the compassion? Hmm? So I am doing preaching service because I have told to do. So I will do it today, tomorrow. I am told, "Oh, don't do this service." So I will do that service with same mood. So that is my understanding, bro. The true preaching is done by Prabhupada or our gurus who have love in their heart. That is real preaching, and we are trying to assist their preaching. That's all. And we are doing some imitation. That's why we try to repeat. Try to repeat. Repeat the words of parampara. That is another way we can be careful. Just repeat. Don't speak anything which is must, you understand, for sake of impressing. No. Just try to repeat the words. Gopa says, my whole credit if I just repeated my spiritual master. That's all. I have no other credit. So that is my understanding, Prabhu. Because it's quite volatile area. A lot of thin lines are there. These are
Very
few
good.
thoughts, Prabhu. You want
Thank
to
you.
add
Thank you so much,
something?
Prabhu. That's why Prabhu say at the end of the class, if someone likes our point, and then they say, wow, what a good point. Of course, we want them to carry and Chintan Manan, but we immediately say, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. We pass on the credit, not for us,
Yes.
because we are just via media, just a postman. Take from here, pass it here as it is. And therefore, we say, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. And that's what was making me think, Prabhu, that this reputation is a very big trap, very, very big trap, and it can be so dangerous for anybody. And I loved when you said that, what is that, pratishtha kuwari, that
Pratishtha Nari Sada Kuwari.
sada
So,
kuwari, yeah.
Pratishtha is the beautiful lady which always remains unmarried because she is
Yes,
running behind the true devotee and whole
yes,
world is running behind her.
absolutely. I loved it, Prabhu. I loved it. And it's true that
This
devotees
is,
wouldn't want to, because it's a danger area. So let
yes,
let Pratishtha follow the devotees, but devotees don't look at them, because that is the thing. And we say that we are always the parsads of our acharyas. As it is, we are trying to pass on. So all
Yes.
glories to Sri Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru Maharaj.
Exactly.
We pass on the credits, Prabhu.
And so this statement is, as per my remembrance, it is Param Pujya Radha Govind Maharaj. So all glories to him. So that's the thing, and we mean it actually.
Thank
So
you.
yes,
Thank you.
Prabhu.
Thank you
Hare
so much.
Krishna.
My Danvas to Prabhu. Thank you for
Dandavat
clarifying.
pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare-
Hare Krishna.
Does anyone else has anything, or there is something in chat box?
Hare
I don't.
Krishna.
Four things are no.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, once again for that wonderful Q&A. And yeah, devotees, any more questions or realizations? You can go ahead.
Any reflections, comments, clarifications, corrections?
Okay. I don't see any more hand raised, Prabhu, or questions in the chat box. So with your permission, we can end the session here, Prabhuji. Thank you so much once again for such a very wonderful class. And we want your association in future also. Dear devotees, let's pay our obeisances to Prabhuji. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो नमः
Ananta Koti
Ananta
Vaishnava
Vaishnav
Jai.
Jagadish
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Samarpan
Samarpan
Gopa
Gopa Das
ki
Prabhu ki
Jai.
jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so
Radhe
much,
Radhe.
devotees. Thank you so
Krishna.
much.